Martyr.
Yeah.
Hey, babe.
Yes, ma'am.
What do most men want in a woman?
Realness, authenticity, a woman that's intelligent, that
I'm not sure I understand it, but everything seems brighter now than before. I don't know why I feel this way, but every time I hear your name.
Put that foot down now, that's awesome. Alright, done. You get it twisted.
It's all because of you. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true, yeah. It's all because of you.
look at this fine thing at work.
And I don't fall in love so easily, 'cause I don't wear my heart up on my sleeve. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but every time I hear
Man, we are back. Excited.
We are excited. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Mwah. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody watching. So we are elated that you joined us today. This moment in your life is an investment to better your future and your relationship. Welcome everyone to My Bulletproof Marriages. We are here on the Evening Rush Network every second Wednesday. Are you wiping my... That is rude. Yeah. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come back and join us.
Boom.
So while we are on here, we would love to hear from you. If you have questions, concerns about your relationship, if you're going through something, if you know somebody that's going through something, hit us up in the chat. While we're on here, we'll do our best to answer your questions while we're on live. We can answer them back on the chat. We are here for you. And if you want to, if you're like, nope, I don't want to say nothing while I'm on here, I don't want to comment anything, then you can hit us up at info@mybulletproofmarriages.com and we will go ahead and hit you back up.
Yeah. Or we'll address it on the show as anonymous, right? And so that way you can just catch it, the next episode that we do and you'll have it. And remember, you can call in. The numbers on the bottom right now. We would love for y'all to call in.
929-282-0266.
Boom.
All right. So we were on a show this morning and we were talking about Valentine's Day. Why not? Right? I wanted to give you guys a little origin behind Valentine's Day. I never looked it up before, didn't care. I just kind of went by what I was conditioned to learn about as I was growing up. And I decided...
Hold on, let me interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Okay.
Because I want you guys to be thinking about something. We were on that show this morning and they asked us a really good question, right?
Oh, okay.
And it was something that it was like an expert show, right? Where there was multiple experts. We weren't the only ones on the show. And so the question went out to all of us. And you would think that it would have been an easy question just to answer. But when you really think about it, it's not. And that is, what is being in love? And how is it different than just loving somebody? And we had to really put some thought into that question. And so here's the deal. She's going to give you the origin of Valentine's Day. We're going to throw some history at y'all so that way we can all level up our knowledge, right, of what this day means and where it came from. But while we're moving forward, I want y'all to think about that and drop it in the comments or call us up and tell us what that means to you, right? Like, what is being in love mean to you? What does it consist of? So that said, go ahead, take it away, boo.
All right, babe. So Valentine's Day did not come to be celebrated as a day of romance until about the 14th century. Although there were several Christian martyrs, right?
Martyrs.
I always mess that up. Named Valentine. The day may have taken its name from a priest who was about 270 CE by the Emperor Claudius. According to legend, the priest signed a letter from your Valentine to his jailer's daughter, whom he had befriended and, by some accounts, healed from blindness. Another common legend states that Saint Valentine defied the emperor's orders and secretly married couples to spare the husbands from war. It is for this reason that his feast day is associated with love, February 14th. The first commercial Valentines in the United States were printed in the mid 1800s. Valentines commonly depict Cupid, the Roman god of love, along with hearts, traditional seats of emotion, because it was thought that avian mating season begins in mid February. Birds also became a symbol of the day. Traditional gifts include candy, flowers, particularly red roses, and is a symbol of beauty and love. Now, did y'all know that Valentine's Day alone, just this one day, is a multi-billion-dollar business?
That's crazy.
That has turned the economy into a false advertisement for displaying love.
Yeah, like you can buy it or something.
Like you buy love.
Like and that's we're gonna talk about that today because
that's just something that we really.
Yeah, we've been together for over 2 decades, and we did it. We bought or drank the Kool-Aid, as they say, but it's not sustainable. And that's the thing. Over a long period of time, if you want a long-lasting relationship, buying things, it's just not sustainable, and it doesn't prove that you love that person. Right. What happens on February 15th or on the 30th or on the 20 whatever of the next month, right? What happens then? So, those are the things that we want to look at today. So
yeah, we had talked about how I remember telling Chad, like, I really wanted to stop celebrating Valentine's Day. It had been like a couple years ago, and I know that kind of shocked him. Like, what? And I was just like, the more I thought about it, right? You look at family and friends. I had a lot of family and friends going through a lot of hardship in their relationship. And yet they would post, this is when social media became big, and they would post all these lavish gifts and these things that their partner was doing for them. And I was thinking to myself, he just cussed your ass out yesterday. Like, he just put his hands on you. Like, I'm so confused. You just found out he cheated on you with one of your friends. Like, but yet, because it's Valentine's Day and you want to feel validated by everybody else, therefore you're going to post this thing that he gave you that didn't equate to much of anything, due to the fact that that's not proving that he loves you. And what happens, as Chad said, the next day when Valentine's Day is over, he goes right back to the same girl he just cheated on you with. He goes back to putting his hands on you. Like, I don't understand that concept. There's so many people in this false relationship right now, and the only thing they do is they can't wait to post a picture, post videos. They can't wait to, show their friends and family off to the spouse or their partner who they're with, and be like, look what he did for me, look what she did for me, look what they're giving to me, look how we're living life, when it's all false. Yeah. It's all false. And I don't understand how people equate this one day as love.
And look, it's like checking the box, right? We do this to check the box. Well, it's Valentine's Day, so I got to do X, Y, and Z, and that will hold her off until the next major holiday, right? Or hold him off to the next major holiday. This ain't just about a man, we both genders do this at some level. And, we were on that show. One of the questions was to a single girl, and it was like, hey, do you have to dealing with like your girlfriends bragging about what their man did for them or whatever, right? And that's sad that type of pressure is placed on people, and we do that. We like gloat, like, oh, look, he bought me 18 dozens of roses and chocolate candies I don't like, and man,
I really
the same restaurant he took me to, every year, you know. And it's like we forgot and here's the thing, here's the real, I think the big key is that we're longing as humans for a real connection and a real relationship. We want to experience love, but we're doing it the wrong way. And I'm not against Valentine's Day. She's not against Valentine's Day, but what we are against is the fakeness and the focus on a thing to create love. That's like sugarcoating love, and you can't do that. It just doesn't work. So we're gonna get into it, but yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, tell them about how it made you feel when I kind of came to you and told you that I was like done
Man,
with
hey,
you.
and let me all right. So look, I was trying to be the man's man when it came to Valentine's Day. All right. So I would show up with a bouquet of flowers, chocolate,
And not from Walmart.
right? Like I went to an actual flower
shop.
store,
Yeah.
and I would spend like $250. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of money, right? So this was, I was like not paying bills, right, to do this for her. And then I would always get reservations. We lived in a small town, so we only had like one or two really nice restaurants. But I'd have reservations for that restaurant, and I would show up in a suit. And I thought I was doing everything right because that's what society told me to do. And here's the thing, right? I really thought this was what me as a man was supposed to do. And then finally, a few years, she was like, "Hey, man, I've been trying to put up with this shit, all right, for the last couple years, but I don't even like red roses, okay? And I'll be honest, I don't really want to go to that restaurant. You don't need to dress up. And the chocolate, like one or two of them I like, but the other part of the assortment, I'm not really digging." And so it took me back for a second, but then when I really thought about it, I was like, hold on, why am I doing this? Because I want to make her happy, right? I want her to feel like she's loved. And a lot of times we're not listening to our partner. She didn't want 90% of the things. All she wanted was me. She wanted my time. And so that's what I began to give her. I began to listen. And this happened actually at Christmas time and all kinds of, I was getting her things that were like, women should like these things, right? So you do that, but that means I don't really know the person that I'm supposed to love. And so we have to approach all of this with like an understanding. And what does my wife or my partner really need and want from me? And how do I give that to them? Your lady might just want a quiet night watching Martin and eating a bag of popcorn with you and falling asleep on you, right? And so like that's cool. You know what I mean? If that's what she wants to do, that. Don't let society downplay what's working or what's best for you all. And that's really our message, man. Like,
Yeah. How do you, it's like, how do you create Valentine's Day 365 days out of the year? How do you do that? By just being present with the person, just loving on them, listening to them, learning who they are. Stop going by what society tells you you're supposed to do for your partner. A lot of times the advertisements are just enticing to help businesses. That's all they're there for. Yeah. They are showing you what it is that they're telling you to purchase, that, oh, of course she's going to want this. Of course he's going to want that, right? But have you taken the time to actually figure out what do they like? When he took the time to actually talk to me and figure out that I didn't like any of that stuff. And like I said, I was trying to do some hinting and it just wasn't working. So then I had to really be blunt about it, not to hurt his feelings, but just so that one, he'd stop spending the money on it. I'm like, at this point, just give me the money. I'll take it.
Yo, I was like, man, that could have went to a bill, man. Like,
and I was like, well, you should have put it towards a bill, to be honest with you. Like, why are you not paying your bills to make sure that a box is checked on Valentine's Day when I'm going to love you regardless? The next day, I'm going to love you regardless in this moment. I don't need things to prove that we love each other.
And money don't buy love.
It doesn't.
Okay. I know that it's kind of cliche and a lot of people say stuff like that, but the same people that say it usually are out there buying stuff. Okay. Preaching that that's what you have to do to please your partner. And I'm telling you, man, like, when we look back throughout our 20 plus years of being together, I don't remember not one damn Valentine's Day, right? That does not pop up in my memory like, oh man, I'm so happy that she loved the candy and it just made that day amazing. Like none of that, right? Like not one. But you know what I do remember? I remember us going to Florida for business, and we're supposed to be in Florida enjoying the beaches and the sun, and just locked ourselves in a hotel room. We ordered
Room
food,
service.
yeah, the room service. We watched reruns of Shark Tank, and we laughed all night long till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and just enjoyed each other. Okay, that's true love. That's what everybody's after, but we're kind of looking in the wrong places to get it, and and we're going to talk about how to create that, as we go throughout this episode. But we we don't remember those things. Like she always talks about the unplanned moments, like I'll kiss her neck while she's cooking and while she's baking bread, you know telling her that I love her, slapping her on the ass, like just like all of these little things, just showing her affection, coming up and holding her while she's doing something, and telling her how much I love her. These are the things that make a relationship worth being in, and we've kind of lost sight of that. We've put things in place and holidays in place, and then we wonder why our relationship fails, or why when hard times come the relationship doesn't hold up under the pressure. Well, it wasn't built on a foundation of love. It wasn't built on authenticity. It was built on stuff that we can't sustain. What if you have some hard times financially and you can't give like you were giving on a Valentine's Day or on a Christmas or on a birthday? So what now? You can't love each other because the things aren't there?
Right.
Well, if that's the case, then uh, every storm's going to knock down every house that you ever built. Okay, and you're going to end up miserable in your life because you keep building it on not a firm foundation. There's actually a passage in the Bible, I think, where Jesus talks about that, right? Or a disciple. I don't know. I'm not going to quote it because I'll mess it up. But y'all know what I'm saying, right? And they talk about building it on the right soil. Well, that's everything. That's everything. And your relationship is.
I just remember the moment for us, it really settled for when our daughter had the stroke. Our daughter had the stroke in November. So that was right before Thanksgiving. So we spent Thanksgiving in a hospital, a German hospital at that. We spent Christmas in a hospital. We spent our anniversary in a hospital. We spent New Year's in a hospital, Super Bowl, Valentine's Day. All
Super
of
Bowl was
this,
all right though, because they made like a little room for us.
they did. That was really
right,
sweet of
and
them.
they put it on like a big screen. It was like a projector, I think.
It was.
And we got to watch the game.
That was really cool. But I'm
cool.
just saying, like those big major holidays, right? That you're supposed to be lavish and go all out, and we didn't have any of that. But we had each other.
Yeah.
We had and we had our children, and our daughter was still alive. And so at the end of the day, that's what mattered the most. And I think when our daughter had I know when our daughter had the stroke, it changed the trajectory of our world, because it really put in place what mattered the most, which was just us being together, not all that other shit that people tell you. And that's when really the sight of what the stories that we tell ourselves and the conditioning that that we're taught as we're younger, like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is how you're supposed to do it, and this is what it's supposed to look like. All that is conditioning. Is all what you saw your parents show you, or your aunties, or your grandmother, or your friends, or whomever it showed you prior to what that's all you going by. And so at the end of the day, once we had that moment with our child, and we had that moment in the hospital with ourselves, just us, that's when we were like, you know what? We didn't even care about those holidays. They didn't even mean much. Just us being together meant the most.
Like we dance in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like I've literally grabbed her and started dancing with her in an aisle, not Safeway, I forget what that
Wise. I think that
Wise.
changed for Food Lion.
Yeah. Whatever. Grocery store. Frozen food aisle, right? I don't know. And we were like literally dancing. We'll listen to, Tevin Campbell and just dance in our room or in the bathroom and just create moments that are special. When our daughter,
good moments at that, you know what I'm saying? Because I just begin out the shower.
Hey. But like, this is what every couple that we talk to is like, man, that's what we want. That's what we want. Well, then why not create it?
Right.
Right. And this is what I don't understand. None of this is rocket science. Okay. But a lot of people are listening to those who don't have what they want.
Right.
Okay. Like if you wanted to make a whole bunch of money, okay, and you wanted to be like a multi-millionaire, would you listen to a person that doesn't even make 5 figures every year? Probably not. Right? Because you would be like, well, how are you qualified? Like matter of fact, we just listened to this before we got on here. There was this lady talking about if you make less than $50,000, you shouldn't date. The chick's probably not qualified. Okay. She probably is from relationship to relationship and wondering why she can't get a solid man.
Or no, what she's going to say is that she hasn't been in a relationship for a while because she hasn't found the right man. You haven't found the right man because your standards are way too oblivious. I'll say that. Not even too high. It is oblivious. I don't even know where you come with $50,000. Like if you're not making $50,000 or more, how can you expect for somebody to make $50,000? And the thing is, what if you get with somebody that's making $50,000 and then they don't even treat you right? Like I don't understand that. So you would rather go ahead and just look at the tangible object of finances, right? Instead of looking within the heart of a person and realizing that right there is way more important. So then now the men out there see what you are about. That's what you did.
Kanye made a whole song about that.
I think, he just came on. You just came on social media and just told the men what you're about.
But like, what my point was is like, why would you ever listen to her about love when she's not qualified? Okay, when she doesn't clearly have what you're after, and so this is no different, right? Why would you listen to a company that just wants your money about what you should do for your spouse or your loved one or your partner when all they care about is you lining their pockets, right? And so what we're trying to tell you is if you want this, it's not rocket science. You don't need, these lavish dates and all this crazy stuff that the world is telling you that you need to create a meaningful relationship. And before you say, well, because like the whole point of this episode is to create that 365 days a year, because to my point, what does one day matter if the rest of the year sucks? If, like she said, they're putting their hands on you, if you're not happy in that relationship, if they're not fulfilling you, what is the point in being in that relationship? Okay. And so we have to get to a place where we understand what we should be building this relationship on and what's important. And before you say, well, there's going to be bad days, there's no way you could do it every single day. Here's what I'm going to tell you. She talked to you about our daughter being in the hospital. One of my greatest memories in my relationship with this beautiful woman beside me is we were sent to a rehabilitation center. And our daughter had to go for a visit with a doctor, and they were like, hey, you got some free time. We don't need you in this meeting or in the therapy. Go do something. And we didn't, at first we were like, what are we going to do? Like our whole life had revolved up to this point around making sure she's good. And we got a newborn in one hand, and we walk down to the Starbucks and we get this coffee and we're just talking, right? We just get lost in this conversation. We end up walking around the atrium, around the rehabilitation center, just talking about dreams and our futures. And we looked beyond the problems and we just had this moment. Okay. And it didn't last that long. The appointment was probably 30 minutes or an hour. So like it maybe lasted a whole hour at the most. But that hour has lasted me over a decade. Do you see what I'm saying? So that moment, that 30 minutes, that 45 minutes, whatever the hell it was, became timeless. That's how it transcended time. Because even today I look back and that's what I think about when I think about my relationship with this beautiful woman. Okay. It wasn't the holidays or the birthdays or buying her a gift that she really liked or the golden, earrings that I thought that she would love, that whatever. None of that is what comes to my memory. And if that's the kind of relationship that you want, you're going to want to listen to everything we got to say and stay locked, because we're going to give you a mini recipe, right? And it's not hard. It's so simple. Okay. So simple.
I love it. And there's so many memories that we have that we could tell people about, but we want you all to go out and create your own memories. Right. But you got to figure out, what does that look like? So what do you have to do? You have to talk. You have to have a conversation. You have to sit with your partner and say, like, babe, you know what? All these years I've been doing the same gifts. I've been planning the same, dates. Do you even like that? And just listen. And just find out, does she like it? Does he like it? That's another thing. Like, let's not make this all about what she wants, what she needs, right? Let's talk about men for a second. Like, what does he want? He might just want to just sit back and chill and just watch the game. I mean, that's cool too. There's plenty of times when that's all he wants to do. He is not a people person. He does not like going to restaurants. He does not. He's very much introvert. And I
got PTSD, man. All right.
So
I don't like
means
people.
He had PTSD for like his whole life.
My whole life.
But I'm just saying, he is an introvert. And I love that about him, though. I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, I would tell him like, oh, we should go do this. We should go do that. I've planned this. I've planned that. Right. But then when it comes down to it, I'd be like, babe,
like pulling teeth.
Can we just stay in? I mean, like, I'm just comfortable in this bed, laying next to you, and we just be talking, or we just be watching something. And you know what? Those are the times that I enjoy more than getting dressed and making myself look really pretty and beautiful. To him, I look beautiful when I wake up in the morning.
That's it.
So for me, if I'm just to stay in my PJs and just enjoy just being home, and I can cook, right? So why not do that? Why won't we just get in the kitchen and cook together and just make those memories within ourselves? And I think that's the biggest part I would like for you all to take away, is just start making those memories that you all created, and stop going by what others are telling you how you should create, the memories that you should be able to create.
Right.
Don't do that.
Like she said it, listen to each other. Like, have the conversation. Stop assuming. Right. Like I was told when I was young, assume means you're making an ass out of me and you too.
That's right.
Okay.
Because it does.
And you sitting here and the world will say, well, they should like it. And then what ends up happening is we get offended. We get offended when our partner doesn't like or doesn't receive what we're doing for them, but we never asked in the first place. We never sought to find out if that's really what they were into, if that's something that they wanted in their life, right? We just kind of try to say, well, this is what you're supposed to like, so you better like it. She likes dead flowers. Like, doesn't even make sense to me, right? But she does. So why am I going to go get her something that she doesn't even like and then get in my feelings because she doesn't like it? Okay, it's like the tie set that I always get on Christmas. I don't like it, right? I don't like it, but
that's what he always gets,
right? But
not
no one,
me.
but no one ever asks,
right?
If I like it. They just say, "Well, you're a man, and so you should like this." Okay, it doesn't work like that. We're all made a little differently, and you got to find out how your partner is made and what is really motivates them and brightens their day up, right? It could be really simple, and you're missing it because you want to overcomplicate it.
And for me, he got me this Valentine's Day, which we're not even big on gifts, but he surprised me. And actually, he didn't even give it to me on Valentine's Day, which I love even more. He gave it to me on Monday when it came in, which was a gold rolling pin, because I bake. So
a lot.
I make our own breads and biscuits and all types of stuff. And I have a wooden one I really like, but I really saw this gold one. I really wanted to try out. And so he surprised me with it, and a book. And he's got me into reading more for the last 2 years, which I really appreciate so much. And it was a goal setting book by Jim Rohn. And if you know Jim Rohn,
dude's He's a beast.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you're ready to really elevate your life and really enhance your thoughts and really try to set goals for yourself, time management, personal development, all those things, Jim Rome.
Yeah.
He really will help you. He's got quite a few videos on YouTube you could check out, but that's not what this is about. But here nor there, he bought me the book, and it was only $3 for that book. The rolling pin, I think, was like $12. Yo, that was the most special gift I received in a very long time. And I appreciate it because it's what I wanted, right? It's what I desired. I wasn't looking for anything else. He knows that today, if he was to bring flowers in this house, I would have looked at him like he was crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why you spending? And it ain't like he ain't got it this time. We got it, but it's just that why I don't like it. I want you to wait. How many days?
3 days after Valentine's Day, everything goes on like 75% sale, right? And so then I can go get the flowers that she wants, and she likes like orange and like white roses, and then we hold them until they die, and then she keeps them, right?
I love it.
Wild stuff. I don't know why, but it is what it is, and that's what she likes. That's what we do.
That's it. And that's what matters the most, right? When you figure out what works for you, what makes you happy, then you start to kind of show that and tell people around you, like, this is what I need. Don't assume, right? I'm big. I don't like people assuming anything about me. If you want to assume, that makes an ass out of you. But if you ask me, I'll tell you. And for me, I was just like, hey, this is what I like. It may not make sense to you, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to, but it makes sense to me. That's what matters.
I want to say one other thing before we take a quick break, and that is, in a relationship, people evolve. Okay. One of the other mistakes I used to make was I would try to continue to get her things or do things for her that I did in our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But when she got into her 30s and now in her 40s, like, you can't, she's growing, she's different. Her interests have changed. The things that she wants and desires have changed. And so you have to, you're constantly learning each other. Because you're constantly growing. And that's just life, and it's cool. Okay. It makes it fun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind as you move forward. But that said, we got to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll talk about what we've done to create Valentine's Day every day.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys, so you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
And we are back. All right. So one, go ahead and download the Evening Rush Network on an app. Thank you right now. What are you waiting for? So Valentine's Day. Look, I want to give you guys even some more tips. This is another tip that I could give y'all. Make space.
Yeah, this is number one.
Make space for whatever's supposed to happen. When you try to force things to happen in your relationship, you try to force things to make it what it's not supposed to be, then the universe itself can't show up like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not how it works. The moments that we have had authentically just us enjoying each other were just unplanned moments that were just set up, right, organically through what we were doing. Just like the universe saying, no, this is y'all time. This is what's supposed to happen in this moment, because we weren't trying to force something to happen. It just happened. And that's why those moments stick out to us the most.
And here's the thing. When you're trying to make space, okay, one of the things that we struggle with as humans is not bringing distractions into the moment that is being created. And this can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Our phone is a distraction, but so is having a bad day at work, let's say, okay? And a lot of times we don't know how to turn that off before we walk in the door, and we bring that bullshit into our relationship, and we wonder why we can't have something genuine with our partner. Well, no one wants to make love to somebody who's giving them the side eye and talking shit to them and treating them like they ain't nothing, right? Just because they had a bad day. Like, I didn't even do nothing to you and you coming off sideways, right? So we got to check all of these exterior things that take place, because they're going to happen, right? Your boss is going to be whatever. Maybe you're tight on money this month. The kids acted up, like whatever, right? Things are going to happen. But that doesn't mean those things have to influence that space that you're trying to create with your wife or with your husband or with your partner. And so it's really important to kind of check those things at the door and keep them where they're supposed to be. Keep work at work. You know what I mean? Like, that was something we had to learn in the military. You have really high stress days, and it's easy to come home and bring that stress into your home with you. So over time, we had to learn how to check that and say, no, work stays at work. Okay. And I'm not bringing this into my home because they didn't sign up for the military. Okay. That's me. All right. And so over time, you'll begin to learn to keep that negativity out, because it's really hard. It's really hard to have an organic, loving space with all of this stuff that we want to bring into it. Okay. And it has nothing to do with our relationship.
And it's hard because it stays right here. So then all these things are playing in your mind, and then you can't, it shows up on your exterior part. You can't help it, right? And the vibe that you bring off to your partner is telling them, right, that there is things going on up here that I just cannot let go. So the mood in itself is off. And that's what,
And the moment might be that y'all talk about that. Here's the thing. This is why it's organic. Some of that's how it sometimes starts. It's like you just like, yo, baby, what's going on? Like, I can see it. I can see it on your face. Like, let's talk.
And you cancel those plans that you had. You cancel them. You see that your partner is going through something, then don't force trying to go out to dinner. Don't force trying to have a romantic time. Say, you know what? This is way more important. Right. Us sitting down and us talking and us looking each other in our eyes and let's dealing with this. I'm here for you, because this right here, this day, this moment, this is not as important as getting through this right here, me helping you. And that's that space that you have to leave open for whatever's supposed to happen.
Yeah. And never waste a second on yesterday. Okay. So good. Never waste a second on it. It's done. It's in the books, baby. Okay. So yeah, number 2. All
right. Time. Like, when I say give your time, that's all I wanted and still to this day need from him. And I'll say that he is that guy. Like, he doesn't ask anything from me besides giving him my time. Like, Lanell, I just want you to sit next to me. Lanell, just ride to the store with me. Lanell, do you want to go for a walk with me? Lanell, do you want to come outside because I'm just sitting outside? You know, like, whatever it is he's doing, if I can be present with him, that is the most valuable gift I've ever given to him, was just my time.
And honestly, that's what she's wanted,
for a very long time.
Yeah, and I didn't understand it at first because I was so hard-headed, man. I really thought, like, I really overcomplicated this.
You did.
You know what I mean? And I was like, no, she's a woman. She's got to want these things. Right? And we're especially today, man, we're bombarded with all of this stimuli, commercials on our phone, little reels of people that are faking the funk, but we think that it's real life. And we're going off these things like, oh yeah, this is what it is. Right. And it's not, and I had to learn that. And man, it sounds so simple, right? Because it is. It really is. But we overcomplicate it, and we don't want to actually give our time. And our time, right, it's the most precious thing, because what can you not get back? See, I can make more money. I can get more gifts. Once I spend a second on you, it's gone. You ain't never getting that joker back, okay? And when I heard that, well, that was a few years ago, it pushed me back a little bit, right? Because it's like, dang, how accurate is that? And how much of this precious thing do I waste on things that don't elevate my life, don't make me happy, don't really do anything for me or mine? And when I looked at it, it was a lot. So now I choose to try to give my time to what matters the most to me, and that is my relationship first and then my kids second.
Love it. Identifying where you're at and where you want to be. That's I feel like a lot of people need to really take the time to figure that out. Like you were saying earlier, you just check boxes off and say, well, I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. And okay, they did this for me. That was nice. Okay, they did this for me. That was nice. Okay, they said this. This was really nice, right? But really identify, like, weren't we just here last year and the year before and the year before?
Yeah.
And then it just seemed like tomorrow we just gonna go back to the same routine.
Same mess.
Like, that don't make no sense to me. And I'm really unhappy. So let me go ahead and, you know what? Do you really want to be here with me? Do you really want to share this space, this time? Do you really want to do this next year?
I do.
I know. I can't.
She was looking me in the eyes like I was getting into it.
I made it for couples, okay, that may not be in the space that we're at, okay? And we were there once too, right? And we had to have those conversations. And you just have to start going in and figuring out what it is that you truly want. The first thing is, can you figure out yourself? Can you do that? I that was the most important key that Chad and I did. We really did. We took time to figure out ourselves first.
What you really want.
We figured out what we want, who we wanted in our life, how we wanted it done. Like, all these questions, all these W questions we had to figure out. And when we did that, yes, simplify relationship. We simplified it down to, this is what we're looking for. This is how we want it. This is what we want. We realized that we had everything right here. Yeah. Everything right here. And that's when it became so much easier without us trying to put geometry and algebraic, equations into this. Like, that's what we was trying to do. We trying to fit we trying to fit a triangle into a into a circle, and we're trying all of that for what? For what? This is just so simple.
Yo, when I just told you guys that one of the greatest moments I had was us being holed up in a hotel room in Florida. How simple is that? How simple? Real simple. Okay. Love is not complicated. It is a decision. Okay. And I'm going to say that again. Love is a decision, and it's one that you have to make every single day. That was told to me when I was like 14. And I've never forgotten that. And it's rung true throughout my life. It's something that you have to decide to do every single day.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not complicated. It's not complicated to just want to be with somebody. Like, why are you in the relationship in the first damn place?
If it's so hard.
If it's only for things or what they can do for you, that's why the divorce rate is what it is. I'm going to be just straight up with you. Because you're never going to be satisfied once they can't do that thing for you or provide that, or aren't good looking enough to be the arm candy now because they've gotten older or whatever the case is. You're going to go on to the next shiny thing. Okay. But true love, just wanting to be with that person, their presence, laughing, just enjoying that individual. That's what this is about. That is true love. Okay. And we've missed it so hard. And we did too for so many years, y'all. I'm not sitting here trying to act like we had it all figured out. We definitely overcomplicated our entire marriage. And that's why we're sitting here like, yo, okay, we found it. Whoa, stop doing this crazy stuff. Because you're never going to be satisfied. All right. You want a true connection. You want somebody that's got you 24/7 in the good times, but also in the bad times. Okay. You first have to, like, we are best friends. Now we run into so many couples.
They don't even
it's like they, it's like they skip that whole step. Like they like, well, sex was good. He's got money. He's got this dope car.
Yep.
So, and my girlfriends really think it's good. So I'm gonna do this.
My family really likes him. Like, my family, they could see us together. They see you together, or do you see yourself with that person? See, that was the thing. Like, I saw myself with him. He saw himself with me. Like, and it didn't matter what our family said. It didn't matter what our friends said. It didn't matter what anybody said. We just knew that we wanted to be together. We had something very special, and we had to just stick in there.
Yeah.
And we had to really get over ourselves. That was the biggest thing. Once we got over our own selves, right, and we stopped all the stories that we were telling ourselves, and we stopped all our egos trying to protect us from things in our past that we were bringing into the relationship. And once we stopped trying to listen to what everybody else was saying and doing, and how they were doing it, and how they were telling us what to do and how to do it, and we just said, take a break.
Yeah,
this is our life, and we got to figure this out. And how do we do that? What does that look like for me? What does that look like for him? And then what does that look like together?
And let me tell you something. If I got any business owners, you'll know that simplicity sells. Okay. It's no different in a relationship. All right. And when I look at even our kids, right? Our kids, you know what they remember? They remember us watching The Voice. I don't know if y'all remember or have ever watched that show, but we used to love The Voice. Like when I was in the Army.
But that was when it was like CeeLo and Christina.
Right.
Adam,
like the first ones, right? Yeah, it was dope back then. But what I'm saying is, we as a family, it was like a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We would sit down and we would watch The Voice, and we would root for, who we wanted to go on to the next round. And as a family, we loved it. It was just our time. Okay. It was so simple. And yet to this day, years later, that's what they remember.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They remember the simple moments that were just pure. Okay. It was about the right things. It was about us just being together.
Right.
And we've forgotten how to do that in our own relationships. Just loving the person that you're with, just wanting to be with her.
Right.
Okay. Like, you don't have to do anything special. You just got to be here. And I'm happy. Right. Let's talk. Let's just chill. Let's enjoy this moment. And when you can begin to simplify the moment, now all the other things that we just talked about become really easy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, Valentine's Day is about giving, right?
Yep.
What better thing to give than your time and your love? Okay. And something that is pure and whole, right? And giving, both, if both are giving like that, okay, where they just want each other and they want to create this moment, you're going to create one every single day.
Every day.
Now, the moment might not last as long as the next one, or maybe some are longer than the other ones, but they become timeless because they're real. They're real. They're special. They're authentic. Okay. They are going to imprint in your mind. And that's why we don't jump from people to people, because no one can ever give me what I've created with this woman. No one. No one. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what your status is. I don't care how many likes you get on Facebook or Instagram, whatever's popular now, TikTok, right? None of that matters. None of it. Because what we've created is authentic and real. And you can have that in your own relationship if you're willing to simplify things, okay? Give the time that you need to give and create the space. Let it be organic. Stop bitching and moaning because it doesn't look like what Bob and them did down the street.
Right. You don't know what Bob and them are actually going through down the street.
Amen, sister.
So pay attention to that, okay?
Man, we so I'm a what was it, Cardi B?
Oh.
Yeah, all right. So like last
Valentine's Day. I think it was last Valentine's Day. She
something like
posted,
that.
This picture of her foyer, and she opened up the door, and it was like all these flowers, and they were beautiful. I'm saying it was really beautiful. I'm not into roses like that, as far as unless they're white or orange, but the foyer is beautiful. And I remember just seeing that, and I was like so happy for her. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Offset did that for her. And I'm not taking anything away from either of them because I don't know them personally. But the moral of the story is, then hindsight 2020, let's fast forward to then she gets on Instagram, and then she talks about like divorce. And because, then he's posted, or there's postings of him cheating. And it's like one of those things, like, did you do all of that to show face? When behind closed doors, there's so much more going on, right? Like your husband, is posting that he's with you and you guys are in the light. Like everybody knows who you are, but yet he's still going out his way to disrespect what you all have, the union that you all have created, right? And knowing that he is who he is, as far as like people knowing him, and he doesn't care that much about you as a person, about your relationship, because he's willing to still step out and
make it public.
Yes, and make it public. And I think that's the biggest problem that I have with just people in general when it comes to celebrities, or if you're an influencer, or just anybody that is like trying to stay face and be out there. Like, just stop posting that you have this grand, beautiful life, right? And that your partner is doing all these wonderful things for you, and that you guys have this fantastic goal relationship, when the truth then comes out that there's a lot more that meets the eye. Like, there's a lot more behind the scenes that is happening, and there's so many relationships that are being broken up and divorced because of that, because you're seeing it come to fruition. Like, you're seeing what's actually happening behind closed doors is coming out.
But I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all real quick.
See,
yeah, I'm gonna get up on my soapbox for just a hot second. Let me tell you something.
Trying to do that.
It ain't about what they do. All right, they're gonna do what they do, and unfortunately, we fund what they do because we're not smart enough to look through it and say that ain't real.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I'm smart enough. What we see that.
You know what I'm saying, okay. Right? What I'm saying is this: we have to be wise enough to see beyond what's for the cameras and what's real. Okay, and all we're saying is that let's create something real. It doesn't matter what somebody. I wish everybody the best. I pray that Cardi B and Offset and all of them, they work it all out, and they because we've been there too, right? We're not perfect, and we're not going to look, turn up our nose. We've had those bad moments. All we're saying is that you can't look at what's going on in someone else's life and think that's the whole story. There's always more that meets the eye, and unfortunately, we take these little snapshots and we try to create a story out of it. Okay. And then we believe that story, but it's just a story.
That's it.
It's our job to see that. And more than that, it's our job just to focus on what we have control over, what we have power over. And that's our life. That's our relationships. Okay. So if you want something that's going to last the test of time, that's going to be bulletproof, then I suggest that you simplify this and you begin to create something real and authentic. Okay. Organic moments every single day.
And when you say you want goal, you like, oh, I want to emulate that couple, right? I want that. I want that to be my goal relationship. No, I don't want you to do that. That's not what we're telling you to do. We're telling you to create your own goals in your own relationship. Say, this is what, like, we don't look at any other relationship and say, ooh, that, you know what? Do we want to be like them? No, I love what we have. I enjoy what we have. There's plenty of couples that I see. I'm like, oh, I love that they do that for each other. Oh, that looks, that does look authentic. Like they look like they really do care for each other. But at the same time, good for them. Yeah. Good for them. Because I know what we have.
They don't mean it'll work for you either, man. Like, that's the thing. It's like your relationship is your relationship. Let it be that. Okay. Hey, if they're living an authentic life and they have a great relationship, good. Like Lanell said, clap for them, right? But that doesn't mean that what they're doing is going to work in your relationship. It might. Okay. I don't know. But what I'm saying and what she's saying is that find what's right for you. Begin to create something that's more powerful than a Valentine's Day every single day.
Yes.
Create these authentic moments. Make space for each other. Give each other the time that you need. Begin to listen and communicate with each other. Stop getting offended because they don't want what is being advertised. Maybe they want something different. And that's, fellas, that's even better, right? You just want to sit and watch Martin and eat popcorn? Girl, I got you. Right? But what I'm saying is, like, let's just simplify this thing. Let's stop overcomplicating our relationship and let's get back to the basics of love. Okay, because it's not that hard. Yes, it's a decision that you got to make every day. But when you really dig the person that you're with, that's an easy decision. Okay, so
understand that all the advertisements are for businesses to make money. Okay, businesses, not helping you. So this is a little, hint. Okay, now let's get to the question.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What does
falling in love mean to you? Let me tell you. When I answered that earlier, Chad actually wasn't present. He had to leave. I really was thinking about it. Like, okay, what made me fall in love with Chad? I've told Chad this before. You know, when I first married Chad, I wasn't in love with him. I loved him. I did. I loved him, and I valued him as a person, as my, soon to be husband. I enjoyed what we had. He was a great father before we had our second child, and so I knew he was going to be even a more fantastic father, having two children. And I thought, I didn't really want to get married. I just didn't. And he knew that. But I had said yes to him. I did. I said yes. I said, I'll do this and we'll give it a try and let's see what happens. And here we are still together, right? And happier than we ever have been. And I just remember the time at the beginning of our marriage when it was really ugly and it was really bad. And it was probably the worst for us. And I just remember us splitting up and saying, like, you know what, we're going to divorce. And he was leaving to go to Iraq. And I was like, okay, I'll stay with the kids until you leave for Iraq. And then once you leave, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go, the kids and I are going back to Virginia and we're going to start a life on our own. And we're going to divorce while you're in Iraq. And he was like, okay, this is what we're doing. And I just remember, I'm a bull, so that stubbornness is real. And I just remember staying tough, like, no, I got this, I don't care, like, I'm good. But then he left, and then I had to come back to Virginia. And it was, it's always like you can be strong for a certain amount of time, right? In a certain amount of days, certain amount of weeks, certain amount of months, but eventually you're gonna break, baby. Eventually gonna break. And I broke. I remember just getting settled in Virginia, and I was at my parents' house, and I just remember finally breaking. And I just felt like there was this something like something heavy on my chest, just something that just I couldn't get this weight off my chest, and I couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't stop weeping, and I was just yearning for him, and I was yearning for what we did have, not the bad moments, but I knew what we had, the connection, the vibe, the energy, the love, the protection I felt with him. Just me being in his presence right now, just being around him. I don't need to be touching him. Just me being around him, I can feel it, the chemistry we had. And it was gone. And it had like not left, but we are distanced from it. And that's when I realized I truly am in love. This is what being in love to me felt like. Like I just wanted to just be near him again. I just wanted to hear his voice. I just wanted to know that I could just be there for him and that he would still protect me and that we still had this chemistry together. Like everything that I was thinking left us, everything that I thought that was still there. And that's when I was like, no. I thought I just loved him. I thought, I just love you. I love you. I love what we have. But I realized, I'm in love with this man. I'm in love. And to me, that's what it means. To me, it just that desire just to be with someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with and that you can't wait to wake up with, you can't wait to go to sleep with, you can't wait to just do life with. And I don't need money. I don't need this house. I don't need the vehicles we have. I don't need anything other than just me and you being together, right? Even when we were at our lowest, just knowing that it was still just me and you, you know what I'm saying? And that even in a darkest space, you were there with me. Even in the darkest moments, you were there. That to me is being in love with somebody. And I just think if you can't see your life without this person, and I mean, like even my friendship with him meant a lot to me. If I can't even have his friendship, that right there is like the worst.
Yeah, that's hard to come second to right there, or come behind.
But it's the truth. It's how I felt, and it's how I feel.
For me, it was just a knowing.
He just
but it's a knowing that I want to do this no matter what happens, and that was tested. And I think that you hit the head or the nail on the head, because you don't really know if it's real until you're faced with the obstacles. Right? Are you still willing to climb the mountain?
Right.
Okay. with this person, knowing whatever they've done or whatever has happened in that relationship.
Yep.
Maybe they're the reason that caused you to have to climb the mountain.
Right.
You know, are you still wanting to do that with them despite? And, you know, for me, it's always been yes. And so that's how I knew I was in love. But these people that just automatically, I mean, and I think you can, because I knew it before we had faced the struggle. So I'll say that, like, I had a feeling, like a knowing, like this is the one for me. But I think it had to be confirmed through the hardship to really know that this is for real. Like I'm gonna do this every day of my life until I have no more breath in my body.
That's right.
And every obstacle, it rung true. Like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. And, you know, so that's what it means to me. I would be interested in y'all's opinion, right? Because everybody's got like a different point of view. And so, you know, I'm interested in what you all believe being in love means.
Yes.
The difference between just loving somebody.
Right.
Because that, you know, you can just love your brother, right?
And that's the thing. I had loved like a lot of people, not like, you know, men, boys, but I had loved a lot of people, and I can, you know, I'm always a believer in loving, you know, just human beings in person, because we're all one. But what I'll say is that it was just different with Chad. And I knew that. And I knew that there need to be a significant difference when you are choosing to be in love with somebody. And I just thought to myself, I'm not there yet. And I didn't want to just say those words. I feel like they're very important words to say to someone. And I had never said that to anybody. I never said, oh, I'm in love with you. Never, because I just didn't feel that way. Yes, I love you. I do care for you, but never in love. And I didn't, like I said, even marrying him, I didn't say that to him. I said, I love you, you know. When we went through the hardships, I was like, I'm in love with you. And I'd rather dive in and continue to go through this marriage and figure this thing out than try to figure out how to love somebody else.
That's it.
When I know that my heart wasn't there.
Yeah,
so
that's it. And so, yeah, let us know what y'all think. Let us know what your viewpoint is on being in love versus just loving, you know, your partner. Because I would love to hear the different point of views and experiences, right? Because this is just our experience. But that said, I think we are running out of time.
So guess what? It's a treat. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. And this time we're gonna be giving y'all a little something, a little treat, right? Because I think y'all need some more tips. You know, y'all need some more pillars on how we became bulletproof. And so you come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to give you a couple more pillars on how to get this bulletproof marriage. Yeah. And if you have questions, you have concerns, you want to know more, you want to hit us up, you want to talk, you want to chat, hit us up. info@myBulletproofMarriages.com.
That's it.
All right.
See y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
You're now listening to the Evening Rush Network.
I'm not sure I understand it, but everything seems brighter now than before. I don't know why I feel this way, but every time I hear your